Right, good morning. It's Rian Kutse again from Fortis Proactive Defense Solutions in Pretoria, and I am still busy having a discussion with Tonine and Claire about EDC for ladies. And in today's video, we're going to be talking very specifically about different carry options, because that is a bit of a conundrum for probably most ladies. Let's talk about different available carry options first of all. Where can you carry and how can you carry? And then we'll move on to how your personal impressions of that. Tonine, while you're on screen, I'm just going to start with you. What kind of different carry options have you been playing with over time, and how did you find them?
Well, Rian, I think the first thing that you are going to encounter is you'll hear the term IWB, and that stands for inside waistband holster. And for South Africa we have to have a concealed carry condition. That means you're not allowed to see the firearm on your person or anywhere when you have it on your person, when you're carrying your firearm. And then during training, you'll quickly realize that the holster itself that you need needs to be a sturdy holster that is safe. So safety is absolutely key. And the carry positions or where you can carry concealed carry, especially for women, is like a rabbit hole. So the past 2 weeks, we had a discussion with a bunch of ladies on a group, and they all shared their EDC. And it was amazing to see, and it's absolutely inspiring, because I think ladies has this thing about, okay, but do I have to look like a tomboy now that I have to wear my firearm? No, you don't. There's so many options that you can explore, but there are definitely key factors that you need to maintain, and that is absolutely safety first and functionality. So you shouldn't be carrying a firearm in a EDC setup that's not safe.
Yes.
Safe for you or the people around you. And we tend to recommend the Kydex holsters because of that factor. It is sturdy, and you're not going to accidentally pull a trigger when you shouldn't be. So furthermore, while you have those things in place, then you can actually explore from just a normal appendix carry, where you fix your firearm or your holster to your belt in the front. You can carry it on the side. I don't advocate carrying it at the back, because if you are in a situation and someone is attacking you and they come from the back, you're probably going to lose that firearm before you are in control of it to protect yourself. So that is really, really important to keep that in mind. There are options of it's like a carrying handbag, a quick draw handbag basically. And it's a handbag-like pouch that you wear on your person, and it's designed to have a really, really quick draw, which is amazing, but it has its pros and cons. And again, someone going to take that from you before you draw or not. Sorry, Claire, do you want to add something?
No. I think that was your, I'll add just now.
Things like belly bands. Belly bands are options, or the belt that's actually just below your bust. Then you can carry that firearm below a crop top even, or a short shirt that's a little bit more loose, and have your beautiful leggings or tight pants without a belt at the bottom. So you can really play around with the fashion there. That works with dresses as well, but you're going to have to lift that dress really hard to get to that firearm. So, but for dresses, appendix in front or even a thigh rig. So you can get thigh rigs. I've played around with a belly band that I got from the twins the past week. And it really was quite interesting. I ended up trying the belly band on the thigh. It's exactly the same concept, and it was much more comfortable than I expected it to be. And definitely a viable option, especially if you want to wear a dress. What I liked about it is it was very close to the same movements that I had to use like when I'm training. So I train with appendix, and that was exactly the same movement for clearing and drawing my firearm.
On that, before I switch to Claire, I just want to check with you that, because I saw the pictures about that, the gun that you carried on your thigh. And as I was saying previously, I've personally always been under the impression that when you carry like that, it's supposed to be on the inside of your thigh. So I've always thought that it's probably only good for movies, because how absolutely a pain but that must be, that thing's going to shave you absolutely into a different blood group. But then I saw these pictures of yours, and you were carrying a full-size pistol, not even a compact, on your thigh, on the front part of the thigh. That was a bit of a revelation for me.
Yes, I really expected it to be really uncomfortable. Some people told me beforehand, you have to have a thigh gap, just the build of your body. I do not have one, and I really expected it not to work. And that's something I'll definitely consider when I need to, especially if I need to go to an event and I really want to wear one of my nice dresses. So it's not a bad option. You have to look at all the pros and cons, and I think if just by attending that first year of loan operator, you have enough in your arsenal of knowledge to work it out for yourself. What I did with these, and what I'll definitely do in the future, trying out other EDC setups, is go and do the basics that you did with vehicle. Just that level 1 vehicle training gives you enough to go and test that in vehicle situations with different positions. Can you move with it? Is it safe? All those things you have to compare all your setups with.
Okay. Claire, I know for a fact you've tried many setups over time. Which ones have you tried, and why did you discard them?
Sure, Rian, I have indeed. When I first got my firearm and I started wanting to carry it, I tried a lot. I tried everything. I had a belly band, I had a fire holster, I had trigger guards, I have the Enigma, which we can talk about later, which is a fantastic option. And I tried appendix, anything I could find. I tried the handbag carry option. Why I discarded it is basically what we were saying. A lot of them are not as safe as you would think. Some of the belly bands really don't have anything sort of sturdy around your trigger. So it's fine maybe once it's in there, but getting it in and out is going to be a problem. You have to put that firearm into that belly band so carefully if you're the type of person who carries one up, which you should be. Some of them are just very difficult to get to. So your belly bands, if you have a couple layers, then you've still got to get there. And again, if you're going to draw, like in our second video that we did, we were discussing drawing, and it's not where you train it, you're going to end up with nothing in your hand, and you're going to end up fumbling, and you're going to waste time. So for me, I've tried all of them. I found I used to carry a Glock 26, and with that, I had the Enigma and I had that holster. We can discuss that a little bit later. We do have a girl on our course that carries that all the time. It is an incredible option. It's just very expensive. So for me, I am going to be setting up my Enigma quite soon, but I've just got to save up for a holster for it. So yeah, it's not the cheapest option, but it is a great option, and I would definitely recommend looking into something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, when I did gym, I used to use a trigger guard. So it's basically just a small little piece that goes on your trigger. And if your leggings or your pants are tight enough, it's got a little clip, and you can hook that just into your pants, and the trigger guard can stay behind, which worked very well for me. So that's something I still use. But I just found over time, I ended up dressing around my firearm as opposed to trying to find solutions, to dress around my wardrobe. So I started purchasing clothes that made more sense to me. So a little bit more of a flowy top. And if I wore a dress, then I would look at putting a pair of shorts underneath my dress that I could still have appendix carry. And then I would dress myself around my firearm, because I just found that over time and over the repetition of training on the range, when I draw, I go for my appendix. So for me, I just feel safer and more comfortable having it there. When it's not there, it may be on the moon because it's far away and I don't know where it is. So again, it brings in the importance of training it.
That's actually, I think it's an important point. Specifically because even though you've evolved to a place where you now basically dress onto firearm, you still wear dresses and shall we say more womanly, girly type of clothes. It's not just pants and shoes and top, shirts and stuff like that. And I think that's important. But the other part that I wanna touch on is part where you said when you wear a dress, you wear what do you call it? Short pants.
Yeah.
Under the dress. That part is important, I think, because for a lot of women, the bit of the problem is up here. To get your gun, you are going to have to lift that dress. Okay, and that may very well give a lot of women reason to pause for that vital split second, like, oh, who's going to see? Who's going to see this now? Would you say that with more regular training, you can reach a space where it's easier for you to breach that little gap where you can say, if I'm going to be in trouble and I need to actually use my firearm to get out of it or to save myself, I don't really care if you see something you're not supposed to see. That is the least of my problems in that moment. Do you agree that training will help you get to a position like that?
Absolutely, Ria. And I think, the more you realize how important it is to actually react fast and to, when you start seeing how quickly crimes happen, how fast they are, it's always a shock to see how quickly a gun comes out if you do a vehicle course. And we do some with airsoft where suddenly there's a gun in your face and, you think you have time, but you don't have time. So you start realizing how important it is to get to that firearm as quickly as possible. And it becomes, you just don't care. And we're at the point, and I think Tonine's the same, where we add that element of surprise. So if you're going to see my underwear, shame, maybe they'll be like, whoa. But
I actually think that can buy you a split second, to be honest.
I'm sure
I honestly think that.
Yeah. Or we're going to go viral, so that's great. And then we'll be world famous. The girl who flashed her panties.
But while she was drawing a firearm, therein lies the difference, because that gives you a different outcome entirely. And if your life is in danger, probably the outcome you'd prefer.
Absolutely. And it brings us to the conversation, like Tonine said, in this past week, we were sharing pictures on our group chat of the way that ladies carry. And somebody made a comment, and I thought it was quite an interesting one to say. And she said, safety over sexy. So, you start to get to that sort of mindset where, yes, we can still dress sexy, but how important is it to me to wear the most tight dress, and then I can't carry a firearm, as to maybe go for something a little bit more classy, a little bit more flowy. You can still look sexy, but let's dress around our firearm so that we can still be safe. And I think that's a part that women we do struggle in the beginning. We absolutely do, because it's not so easy to test all of this stuff. It's not so easy to go and buy. I think, you know, we can maybe discuss that, but the stuff costs money. And it's difficult to go, okay, I need to go try a belly band and this and that and that. I need the Enigma. And then you buy the thing and you realize actually it's a pile of nonsense. It's not going to work. You know, when you come to thigh holsters, how sure are you that they're not going to fall down while you're walking, you know, and you end up with a gun at your feet? You know, what's the retention?
That would be problematic.
Yeah, or you're going to wear a belly band. Is it going to ride up and then I'm using it as a chin rest because it's sitting up here, you know? So there's all these little things that women have to face, and it's a difficult one to navigate. It's definitely taken me years and years and years of trying and testing, and so unfortunately there's no quick and easy solution. As with anything, it takes time and it takes experimenting, and every single pair of pants maybe sits differently, and the levels that it sits on your waistline, you know, so you've got a gun that's lower down, higher up. Every dress is different, and you've got to be able to adapt. Unfortunately, we are not like men. We don't just wear baggy t-shirts and pants ever. So yeah, it's a tricky one to navigate for sure.
Tonine, I think in closing, the statement that I want to make after listening to Claire now is that ladies, there are actual solutions out there. You just sometimes need to work a little bit to get to the one that works best for you, but it's there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just seeing what some of the ladies are wearing daily because of their jobs, they need to look presentable. And looking at those photos, you can't believe that they're actually carrying a firearm. And I think that is one of our greatest pros of being a lady. We have our advantages and disadvantages, and it's definitely an advantage to have that element of surprise. And being a lady, we have the best element of surprise. Just by being a woman, no one expects you to be lethal, and being able to protect yourself. They're going to think, they're not going to put up a fight. But we do have our disadvantage as well. Carrying or having a dress on the day. You really have to train that. You really have to go and dry fire in front of that mirror over and over, because all of a sudden there's all this material you have to lift. And you have to make sure, that's what Claire said. And that was actually one of my final points to the ladies after looking at all the different setups is, please look sexy, but be safe. So make sure that your setup is actually working. If it's not functional, if you're not going to be able to draw, get your firearm in time, or your firearm is going to be stolen before you can even get to it, then it's not safe. It's not safe.
Yeah, if I can add to that, Rian, before you carry on, sorry. What Tonine said is so important there, because, you know, and we mentioned it in our previous videos as well. We all think that we're going to perform, and it brings me to my favorite quote. And anyone who knows me knows that I use it almost every time. We don't fall, we don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training, and that is so important. That we are ready and competent, and you know, whatever we think is going to happen is what actually happens. So no matter what you do, ladies, make sure that you know how to deploy your firearm and get it out in a safe manner. And the other thing I'd like to just say, if anyone's watching this, especially for women, reach out. You know, before you start trying to buy things, going, you know, feeling helpless or whatever, try and find a community, something like what we've got on Lone Operator. There are quite a lot of women now. I think we've done quite well in adding women to our list. And even on sites like gun sites and that sort of thing, in this country, just ask somebody. I promise you'll find somebody that's got a belly band that will be happy to meet you on a range and say, yeah, try this thing out, or to give you their advice and to show you their experience or show you pictures on how they do it. Research that Enigma. It's a company named Filster, and they've got a fantastic website that you can go on, and they actually will, if you send a picture and you say, look, I've got this gun and it's printing and this, you know, this is what it looks like, they'll say, adjust your holster this way and tighten the screw. Try carry it like a centimeter up, and they'll fix the draw, you know, your printing and everything for you. So, you know, there is a solution. Don't look at a firearm and think I have to wear pants. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I think I'm going to conclude with that. I think we've said a lot, and I do trust that our viewers will find a lot of value in this. And please, if you do, remember to also like and subscribe to the channel to help us grow the channel and help us grow our reach. Claire, thank you so much. Tonine, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think it was a very valuable discussion, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you for the platform to chat, Rian. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rian. I hope all the ladies gain a lot of value out of this. I think I get really passionate about ladies that want to empower themselves and, you know, just become more self-reliant. So this is really, really exciting topic for us.
I'm going to end with that word. It's empowering. Have a good day.